Yeah, so this training is on mainly Power BI. Okay, so main skill is Power BI. It is a business intelligence tool. So what does it do is we, any company, we get the data and we have to create a reports or insights we want to develop it. So based on their, business, right? To understand their business, we want to create a insights, so which will help, to understand their business. So that is the main thing about this particular Power BI tool. So what and all I'm going to do it like in this particular training. So what does it do everything, right? Like if you look at, so Power BI is the main skill, but I have displayed like data warehousing, SQL Server, Microsoft Azure, and also my Microsoft Business Intelligence. I mean, here like if MSBI data modeling tool also. These many I'm covering part of this training, but even though main skill is Power BI. So why I'm covering all other skills is mainly, so there are like some openings which will come from SQL Server and Power BI knowledge should be having. Some of them they are looking for SQL Server plus Power BI plus data modeling tool, right? So similarly they look for some knowledge on Azure also nowadays. Somebody who have some knowledge on Azure so that they can use Power BI development and also Azure some work also they can give it in their project. Okay, it is like multiple skills is required, but is it all different skills means no, all are related skills only. And for everything, whatever you're learning, like SQL Server, Azure, Power BI, or anything, tabular modeler tool, anything, right? Data warehousing is a basics things, right? So it is like, basic foundation for these, all these things, someone can work on it. Okay. So this is the mainly on skills side, which I'm going to cover it. So as I mentioned here, timings will be the same always. I don't have any other time, to take the classes, only this timing. So I'll be taking it. Okay, so we'll see like the overview session today, like so what is this particular training and so completely like overview about this particular training we will be looking at in upcoming today's session. Okay, so if you look at so business intelligence, right, like the Power BI. Okay, so if you look at like why companies they want to invest in business intelligence, right? So any company, right? So if you look at a small scale company or large scale company, if they are doing some business, they would look about like how much they want to do some analysis, how much they are investing, how much they are getting returns, right? So it's all about like data, correct? Or if they're running an application, or if they are doing some software, they are running it, or something they developed it, right? So in order to improve their business also, or in order to improve their application also. For example, I have a software is there. That software, okay, so I have released to the market and people has purchased it and using it, right? If the software is good, people will continue and more people will join, or more people will buy that software and they can use it. Then I can make more money, right? So while using, there are some bugs might come, right? If there's somebody using a software, obviously some bugs will come and they will raise it in some portal or somewhere in the software. Those bugs, right? Whether we have fixed it or not, how many bugs we got it, what are the main bugs we have it, are we fixing or not, anything, how can we do it, how can we monitor it, right? So that's where, see, anything I just given one example. I developed we have a software we have released into market and it has some bugs, right? That bugs has raised by users, right? If you don't fix that bugs right on time, so people will not satisfy and they will go with another software, right? So same case with anything, like of course, let's say so transportation, right? So we order something and they said delivery date in 2 days. Whether for the committed delivery date we are delivering the products or not, right? So it is like if it is one order or two orders, right? So we can easily do it. Correct. We can easily track it. If we have thousands of orders or lakhs of orders on everyday basis, right? And if we have a system where it can store all the orders in the form of data, right? So that data also each lakhs of records, I cannot go and see one record what is happened, right? So that's where I want to see on a high level how many orders are like delivered on time, right? So how many of them are left? Why is the delay? If I want to understand, or like in our software, how many bugs has come, right? How which area bugs has come, how to fix them, right? So these kind of insights, right, easily we can showcase in the form of visualizations. In the form of visualizations, so we can easily showcase the bugs. Okay, so that can be done by the business intelligence tool. It is not about I'm saying Power BI only can do it. Like we already know, right? In the market, so we have lot of phones are there, smartphones. It is not like only one company we have it, to do that, right? So we can take any mobile as per our convenience. Correct. Similarly, lot of BI tools are there. Like similarly, Power BI is there. So lot of tools are there. But out of all the BI tools, Microsoft is standing as number one position. Okay, so we'll see why also like in upcoming slides also. Yeah, so but what is a business intelligence? Okay, so basically intelligence means knowledge, guys. So we get knowledge from our business through these business intelligence tools. How we get the knowledge is through our data, our business data or our company data. Through that, they get that knowledge. Based on the knowledge, they will think and decide like how they can improve their business or how to if any issue is there in their business, how to fix that issues, how to get a solution for that particular issues. So like that they can think of it. And there will be people assigned to that particular bugs where they're responsible to do dealing with all these things can happen, and that we can easily look at through business intelligence tools, right? See, for any company business intelligence, right, like reporting is very much required. Without doing the reporting, right, like without doing reporting, if they run their business, obviously it will be having problematic for them. Okay, I hope everyone able to hear me properly, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Cool, cool. Okay. Yeah. So I will also give the time for all the questions, whatever you have it, like at the end of the session, we can discuss that also. Okay. So let me go through this session right now and we'll discuss all the open questions, whatever you have it. Okay. So if you look at, so business intelligence is the process that helps us to change data into information, whatever the data, let's say one software is there. I said just now in it has 1,000 bugs has been come after releasing in the market. So customers has raised different bugs while using that particular product, right? So that data, so how many are there? How many is fixed? How many are easy ones, right? So how many are like difficult one to fix that bugs, right? So in order to understand, right, the data. So in order to informate it, so in order to showcase that through insights, right? So we can use this particular business intelligence, right? So if you look at, so data into information and information into knowledge, right? We get it, and knowledge into plans that guide organization. So we have to plan for it. First of all, we are understanding like, so what is the problem and what is the use case? How can we rectify it? So based on understanding which we can plan to do it. Okay, so this is the kind of cycle or this happens, and this is the reason like people any companies, right? So business intelligence will be there. So that is something like it could be anything, any companies. I'll also go through what kind of companies and all. Okay, domains I'll go through. Okay, so if you look at this slide, one more slide I'm explaining. This is also same thing, but the flow it will be like you will have a clear picture like how the overall process will help, which will happen, right? So any business you are doing it, right? So we get a raw data, right? So most of the raw data we get it in some files. Okay, so like CSV files, XML files, text files, like that we get the data. For example, if you take like some small thing to understand, make you understand. Okay, so if you take Swiggy, right? Like Swiggy, they will be delivering the food. They want to understand like, how many orders they are getting it, how much revenue they are getting it, in which area, how much revenue they are getting, which area they want to increase the people so that they can deliver on time. So these are all like, to improve their business. If they don't deliver on time, right, they'll go with Zomato kind of thing. Correct. For example, I'm telling you. So likewise, they get the data, right? So through the app only, through the app, they get the bookings, right? So each zone wise or each region wise, they'll split the data, right? The splitting can happen, and that data, that particular region or that particular zone data will be stored in the form of raw data in CSV file or XML file, like that they get it, right? So all the data they'll store it in particular place, and what they do is, right, like we want to create a report where I can see all the zones data or all the regions data, or I want to store my data properly because I have some 30 laptops is there for each zone. In the laptops, if they store the data, what if some problem happened to the system and the data is gone, right? So data is very much important for the companies. Considering that, so we want to warehouse it properly. We want to store it for properly so that we can use it for analysis in future, right? So if you look at like raw data, we get it. So that raw data, we do that, transformations. Like if you look at raw data, we are getting it. That particular raw data. So we will have a ETL mechanism. ETL means extract, transform, and loading. There is a ETL jobs also will be there before the BI. So they are the data engineers basically. In these projects, they will be available. So what they do is they load the data and they maintain the data warehouse system. What business intelligence people will do is, right, they will connect with the data which is loaded by the database team, and we will be creating the reports. So mainly, so in this particular projects, right, so we'll have a database team will be there and BI team will be there. So what database team will do is they'll create a jobs, right? So they'll create a packages actually in ETL side, and they pick up that raw data on daily basis and load the data into data warehouse system, right? So from the data warehouse system, from the database, so we connect with the data and create the reports, right? So here, let's say we have, complete data will be there in the form of tables, right? For my report, I need only one table or two tables or five tables, right? So that much data only I load it into BI tool like Power BI or any other BI tool, and we create a insights. Insights means through graphical representation we do it. If you look at here graphical representation, so we'll be creating a pie chart, bar chart, line chart, donut chart, waterfall chart, stacked bar chart, line and bar chart, cards, like likewise different visualizations. We also go with the different custom visuals and create the reports. Okay, let's say so we have created the report. After creating the report, right? After creating the report, right? So people will have a meetings with that particular, insights or reports which we have. So they'll discuss like among themselves. Okay, so this way we can do, that way we can do, like that we can discuss among that what is a good thing for them, what is a good decision for them. They can take it and they can implement that to improve their business. For example, 1,000 bucks are there in their software they have released it, right? On the 1,000 bucks, right? So what are the priority ones which they want to fix? Because it should not affect their customer, right? So those priority ones they want to fix it soon. How many are priority are there? Second priority, third priority, like different prioritizations they can do it, or something like that they can discuss among them and they can go with the strategy to fix that issues or something, right? So like the decisions they can make it and do it. This is how that entire business flow will happen. See, if you don't create any report, simply okay, today let's invest 1 lakh, and yeah, we are not getting profit. Let's invest 1 more lakh, like that blindly. If you do something right without knowing, so what is happening? So what is the problem? What is happening? Nothing. If without knowing blindly, if you do the business right, obviously, so the business will not go in success, right? So we want to create like have the particular knowledge like what is happening, which one people are buying more, which one we want to concentrate it much. Likewise, something through this particular one is something which is actuals. Actuals means the data, which is actual data. We are creating a report and we are analyzing it. So which will actually give the clear info which products are which category. So we are having good business, which one is not having it. So which one we want to concentrate much, right? Or which region or which area we have to concentrate. Likewise, we are getting some details based on that they can do it. Also, one more thing which we can do it like with the data guys. There is a something called machine learning tools, data science, like R, Python. So these kind of um, machine learning tools, what they do is right. So using that particular existing data, for example, we already have a data for 6 months or 1 year of our business. So based on our existing data, they can also do predicting also. Predicting means next month. So what is the expectation of customer based on the seasonality, all these things. They calculate it according to that. We can do the manufacturing of the products. Okay, so that is like forecasting and predicting. So usually, right, like we'll have a data science team will be there in the particular companies, right? What they do is they generate the data. Okay, from existing data, they generate the futuristic data, and that futuristic data also they store in the form of database. Okay, so they store the data, that futuristic data also in the database, and using that data again we can create a insights. Right, end of the day again these BI tools are there. So why BI tools is nothing but as I already told, right? So these BI tools, the representation will be there in the graphical representation. See in the database, right? In data warehouse, I can see 1,000 records, but the 1,000 records one by one record we can see it. The same 1,000 records, if you represent in bar chart, pie chart, like that graphical representation for business people, it will be very easy to understand. So I want to tell you one point. Without business intelligence tool, can't we make the business? Yes, we can make the business. Nobody will say that like without that, so we cannot do it. We can even analyze that our information through Excel also. Right? Previously, like some years ago, right? People used to analyze their business through Excel. That time also they used to do that business, but it is like nowadays it is like, so more. So see, it is like the more quickly you analyze and more quickly you take the decision. So there will be a lot of impact will be there in the business. Okay, it is like, let's say through Excel, I might take 2 days to analyze it, right? But this Power BI, I can analyze it within minutes and I can take on-time decision. Okay, so like that on-time decisions can help them like, appropriate, actions. They can take it on time and which will definitely help them. So that is the thing. See, business intelligence tools can quickly help. They might ask you in interview also, right? So why business intelligence tool, right? How can it help, right? So basically with the help of the graphical representation, people can quickly understand their business and they can take the decisions on time. Okay, that is a difference actually between normally analyzing the business or through this particular BI tools. Okay, so that is the thing about this one. And if you look at this is the again like same thing only, but in terms of more into technical side. Okay, so if you look at where are we? Right? So we are there in BI side. You could see here BI side, right? So we are the one, right? We'll be having, visibility like, all these reports will be, reviewed or accessed by the higher management only, right? Because higher management is the one they will be, they want to see how business is happening and they want to take the decisions, right? So higher management, they will be touch base with and will be working with them. Okay, so most of the people we work with will be very high level positions, not like junior level, because so the kind of reports we give it, right, that reports will be seen by them only. Okay, see, like after the BI will be having the users. Users will be using the reports and they'll be doing it. So BI is something like we'll be doing it. So before BI, what is that it is there? You could see enterprise data warehouse system. Like I said, right, like in a business, we'll have different kind of, datas we will be getting it. And that data, whatever we have it, right, the data sources, right? So let's say if you take a company, manufacturing company, if you take it, a manufacturing company will have, lot of data will be there. People data will be there. People means the, workers, right? So the workers who will be working it. So their data will be there. How many people has logged in today? How many hours they have worked on? What work they have done it, right? So likewise, that data will be there. And raw materials, right? So raw materials somebody purchased and transportation happened. How much cost it happened for transportation, right? So that is like raw material purchase to manufacture the products, right? So that data also gets stored. So that is like, logistics also it comes and also transportation it comes. Then after that, like we have to pack it and we have to ship that to different warehouses. Like for example, today if I order from Amazon, right? Tomorrow it is coming. That is because they're maintaining their goods and products in some warehouses, right? How much space is there in warehouse, right? How many products are there, right? So these kind of data, see, end of the day, in that particular data, right? Like if the goods, let's say in Bangalore, some 1,000 products, some customer ordered, that 1,000 products is not there, right? So we'll lose their business. They'll go to the another particular one, another company, and they'll buy it because so they want on time that particular product. You understand, right? So basically, So we have to take care that the product should be available. Like if it is the product is already sold out, they have to replace that with the new products in that particular place. Otherwise, when people wanted it is not there means they're losing their business. Right? So it's all that will be tracked in enterprise data warehouse. So we get the data, different data we get it. All the data we will be doing ETL. As I told, ETL means extract, transform, and loading. So that will be done by the ETL database team, right? So they load it basically how the process is. Here I want to explain this slide. Whatever the data we are getting it, that data will be there. That data through ETL, we take a copy and store it, right? Whatever the data we are getting from source system, we take the data and keep it here. And from here, so we can transform it and store it in the form of proper structure. See, there are database models are there, which I will explain in upcoming lessons actually. So in data warehousing concepts, I'll be explaining. These are the basics. Even though we are learning Power BI, we need that basics and all. So yeah, so I'll be going through that in upcoming lessons. What is data warehousing? So what are the different models are there? How do we store the data? Which model is efficient? So these questions, even though we are not working on, but people will ask in Power BI interviews also to check whether you know basics or not. Okay. So from operational store to data warehouse, data warehouse means where we store the data in a proper structure. And we'll also have MDM. The MDM is it is like archiving. For example, I'll be using only 2 years data for my analysis, business analysis, but I have 10 years data. What I'll do is I'll send that 8 years data in another place, another software which can store uh, history of data. Whenever we need it, we can pick up it, but always whatever we need it, that much we can keep it so that the performance wise it will be good for us. If you have complete data, right, it will be so we want to system has to process and run on daily basis, which will take longer time. To avoid that, whatever we need it, that much we can keep it, right? So that is main thing. And we also create a data marts according to the business category. For example, we'll have complete data in warehouse, but I want to create a reports for logistics. Then I can create a logistic data mart. That logistics also, right? So some business is happening through online and some business is happening through offline. Through stores, they are making some business. Through online, they are making some business. They might analyze both are together separately or together. Separate means they will have two separate but data marts also. Or HR data will be there, manufacturing data, transportation data. Likewise, different category of their business will be there, right? According to that, we can create a data mart, and the data mart will have only that particular related data in that. And using that, we will be creating, we'll be connecting with BI tools like which one BI tool? Power BI, right? So we'll be connecting with Power BI and creating the reports based upon that. Okay, those reports user will access through web browser, through web, they can access the reports and they can understand their business, how it is happening. Okay, so this is what I have given an idea on what is this business intelligence tool which we are learning now, right? So what is the importance of this particular tool? And in that particular same project, what and all will be there. So that is also I explained. And to talk about this particular one, right? So which will help you to understand more clearly here in this slide. Okay, so if you look at this slide, right? So we'll have the business um, there are different business will be there. Like it is different projects will be there, right? So different projects will be there. On the different projects will be creating the reports, right? So if you look at we'll have financial category, manufacturing, healthcare, e-commerce, energy, like electronics and electrical, food and beverages, aerospace, telecommunication, right? So see, after like when you are applying for a jobs, right, there could be any domain specific project, you get it, and on that you need to work on it. For example, if you go with Unilever, they have products are there, which we already like most of us like we use like Unilever products only, right? The soaps or whatever, like whatever we are using, right? So these things, right? So they are like manufacturing. Okay, so if you get a project uh, in that particular manufacturing one, right? So kind of manufacturing data only we will be creating a reports. If you go with financial, right? So financial, like how many users are accessing their, applications, and how is the response time, right? How many customers are interacting. So that kind of data we will be getting at how many transactions is happening. So what are the peak transactions happened in which hour? So like kind of like we will be doing analysis, and also how much balance they have it like in accounts, and how much data they have it. If you go to ATM machine, right, you will make a transaction that has to be stored and maintained in the database, right? So it will be available for your lifetime until you have the account is there, right? They have to maintain their data, correct? So that is like something, it has to take care about like the transaction side. If you make a UPI phone pay transaction, that is also it gets feeded into the system, correct? So that is a kind of data which we will be looking at in financial sector. Similarly, healthcare also. Within the healthcare, there are a lot of healthcare related products will be there. See, it is like in manufacturing also sales will come, logistics will come, okay, and also like most of them will be covered in that any of them. Like for example, if you take healthcare, there are companies they'll be develop manufacturing healthcare equipments also. If you go to hospitals, right, a lot of products will be there, right? On that, like we will be getting the data, healthcare data, like how many equipments has been sold out. So how many issues are there in that existing equipments, which customers has raised it, or like insurance. Yeah, most of the US companies will have the insurance related healthcare data. How many people have insurance? What is the due date? We want to send a notification to renewal that particular insurance, right? So like these kind of information, we can create a reports on that. Similarly, e-commerce, we have it. E-commerce means like this, we order something and how much revenue they got it, how many orders they got it. So that kind of things which we can analyze it. See, I have not listed all the companies for example purpose. Few of the companies I have listed, right? See, any of the domain or industry or business, right? If you get a job, right, it doesn't matter actually whether we should be, working on HDFC to work on ICICI, nothing like that. If you know the BI tool, Power BI tool properly, like how to use it, like effectively, then how to create a report, that is fair enough. You can work on any kind of domain of the projects easily, like if you know proper knowledge on Power BI. So as we are learning currently this Power BI, right? Like so Power BI is the tool which we are learning currently. So if you know the tool properly, then we can easily manage and work on it, right? So main intention is like in this training, so I'll be teaching end-to-end Power BI knowledge, like whatever, like completely how to connect with the data, how to do the data modeling, how to works with the DAX functions, how to create a visualizations, end to end, like I'll be covering. If you learn it properly, then if you are getting any project, any domain or any industry, right? It's all about like you have to understand the requirements from that particular business and you have to create a insights on that. End of the day. It could be any data we get it, we have to create that only. Okay. Look at further things also. End-to-end business intelligence project workflow. Right. So, okay, 1 second. Yeah. End-to-end flow, if you look at, so it is like, again, let's say companies will have, not like all the companies will have same Power BI, right? So here, if you look at, we have a Tableau as a BI tool, and we'll have a database also, right? So different projects, right? Will have different data sources we will be connecting with. For example, consider this is as a one project. In this project, they are using Tableau as a BI tool, business intelligence tool. They are using it, right? So for this particular Tableau, they have a database of Microsoft SQL Server in their project, right? Which means data will be stored in SQL Server, and we have to connect with from Tableau. We need to connect with SQL Server, load the data into BI tool, and create the reports. Let's say so in this project, we have a BI tool called Power BI. Right? It depends in that particular project what BI tools are there. What BI tool is there? Like if we are hiring for Power BI, obviously they will have Power BI only BI tool. Databases we are not sure. OK, there are a lot of databases are there, right? But most of the Power BI projects will have Microsoft SQL Server only. Most of the Power BI projects. So the SQL Server also, it might be there like on-premise SQL Server or cloud. Cloud means Azure. OK, so that is the reason, like if you look at this first slide, so from this particular batch onwards, like from team 26 onwards, I'm covering, Microsoft Azure also, where how to create a Microsoft account. OK, how to create a storage account. How do we store the data in cloud? So that much. And also from Power BI, how to connect with Microsoft Azure, load the data and create a reports on it. Because Microsoft SQL Server is there. Here also Microsoft Azure SQL Server is there. Only difference is on-premise database and cloud. I'll talk about in upcoming lessons what is on-premise and cloud. Right. So most of the companies, they are shifting from on-premise to cloud. They expect knowledge in cloud also nowadays. So that is the reason, like I'm going to cover in cloud area also, so that it can benefit, you people to get the job based on all these relevant skills. OK, it is not so difficult. It is all easy only. So which I'm going to cover with. So that's what I'm thinking. Like the databases mostly for Power BI projects, it will be like, so that only. And you could see ETL also. ETL also there is a tool, as I told, right? This one, extract, transform and load is nothing but ETL tool only. Right. So they will be doing like, they'll be in a company, in companies, right? They'll be using this kind of tools, ETL tools. OK, and they'll be loading the data in the databases. And they'll be getting the data from different sources and different formats. They get it. All the data they create packages, and they deploy that data into servers, and from that we will be creating the reports. OK, see here it is Informatica. Here it is Talend, and we have Microsoft Azure ETL is also there, which is like Azure Data Factory is there. Azure Data Factory. Cloud database, and we have on-premise also. We have it like SSIS is there. Previously we were using like SSIS to load the data. That is also ETL tool from Microsoft. OK, so this is the thing just I want to tell about, like Microsoft Azure also will be covering, and we'll be creating the reports connecting with that, and we'll be doing it. Okay, so only that is also we're going to learn it in this particular training. And if you look at this particular slide, why Power BI, right? So why Power BI? We already have a lot of mobiles in the market. Why particular Samsung phone? Why particular iPhone? Or why Redmi? Why are you choosing that particular phone? Why are you using this phone? Right? So it is like, you will, if I ask you this question, right, you will say some reasons. But why Power BI is there in number 1 position? Right? So if you look at like in 2022 also, Power BI stands number 1 position in the market. Right? So when you compare with ability to execute and completeness of vision, these two parameters mainly, completeness of vision and ability to execute. In these two areas, like if you compare with Microsoft stands better in terms of giving that functionalities which will help the companies to analyze the data with, right? So if you look at like down the line 2015, right? So we have Tableau as the number 1 position, right? So now if you look at like latest like 7 years, so Microsoft has become the number 1 position according to the Gartner analysis. They do the market surveys, right? Like Gartner. So based on that, I'm just projecting this slide. It is not like Tableau is completely gone. It is also having calls, but it's just that like Power BI is a new tool in the market, like recently has come, because Tableau has come around 2012, 13, like that. That point of time it had come into the market. But Microsoft is like last 4-5 years only. And last 4-5 also, last 3-4 years only, people started using much. Okay, people are switching from Tableau to Power BI or other tools to Power BI because so Power BI has lot of features and functionalities, and price wise it is very less when you compare with other BI tools. Right, obviously, right? So if you're buying a phone, whatever the iPhone features we have it, that we're getting in an Android phone with less price and more benefits. Obviously, we'll go for Android only. Right? So that is the case with Power BI also. Whatever the functionalities we have it in Tableau, same thing we are getting in Power BI, and also some extra things are there, and price is also less, right? So kind of things if you compare with, so we'll see like what kind of things are there. So how what it is good, all these things we'll see in upcoming lessons about this Power BI and other BI tools. So what is good with Power BI? And also something what is bad with Power BI also we'll discuss in, so that you can explain in interviews, right? So in upcoming lessons. Okay. So like I said, this is already same. So companies can use any BI tool, like hundreds of tools are there in the market. So out of this, like some of the projects still they will be using other BI tools on also. Not like everyone will be using it, but most of the projects people are using Power BI and Tableau. Okay, and data storage like databases, they can use anything: SQL Server, Oracle, MS Access, IBM D2, Net. So likewise Teradata, Snowflake, like any kind of SAP HANA, any database they can use it. And ETL also, it's their own choice and use. They can use it. Like Talend, SSIS is a Microsoft ETL tool, data stage. So this is like project wise, like they might choose, whatever the ETL tool and whatever the database, whatever the BI tool. Okay, but most of the Power BI projects will be having SQL Server as a database. Okay, some of them will have, Power BI with SAP HANA, or they might have, Snowflake or AWS, Amazon Web Services. Likewise, it will be there, but yeah, mostly it will be like SQL Server. So it doesn't matter, guys. Like even though let's say, so you worked on Power BI with SQL Server, but the company you are going, they have Oracle in their system. It doesn't matter. Like they will still choose you like based on the Power BI knowledge because you are a BI developer. They need Power BI person. Database, it's nothing for Power BI people because we just load connect with the tables and load it, and end of the day we create the reports based on the data we loaded it. It doesn't matter for us, like it could be any database, but initially we need to load and set up that configurations and load the data. That is the things it is there. But otherwise, for Power BI developer, it could be any database. It doesn't matter. For not only Power BI developer, it is like any kind of BI developer. It doesn't matter. Okay. And yeah, so just I want to talk about the scope of learning of Microsoft tool. Okay, so basically, like if you learn Microsoft tools, right, like always it will have standard, market in there in outside always. Like if you look at, they have everything in their, area. Like Tableau is there. Tableau, it is only BI tool. Okay, but Salesforce has acquired Tableau recently. They also have a database now. But if you look at Microsoft, right, so they have end-to-end, which end-to-end skills or the tools which any company can use it. We have, Microsoft DevOps is there, DevOps, Microsoft SharePoint is there, Microsoft, databases. We have SQL Server and also Azure is there. For reporting, we also have Power BI and SSRS is there, and data modeling tool for the companies having very much huge data. They can create a data model using data model tools, right? So data integration, they have ETL tool is there and cloud-based ETL tool like Azure Data Factory is there, right? So like if you go with like all Microsoft, right, for a particular project, they will get more discounts also if they are using all the Microsoft products only, right? The companies, right, they will have more discount also. Actually, Power BI comes with $10 per user. They might give $8 also, right? So like companies always, right, they can try to get work done with less price. So it doesn't matter for them, like if they are using all the Microsoft products only in their projects also, as it is a reputed one. And so that is the thing. So skills wise also, right, if you learn Power BI now, maybe after some years openings might be reduced, but if you have a skill, right, still you will have that particular thing. See, in when the tool is new to the market, right, obviously people will be, uh, more openings will be there, more things will be there. So when it comes to particular point, openings will be bit reduced in Power BI also, or any other skill also. For that, so that's the reason, like what I'm doing in this training is I'm just giving like Microsoft Azure, SQL Server, data modeling tool like that. Multiple skills are there. Multiple skill knowledge is there with you. Obviously, somebody has only Power BI and someone has Power BI plus all this Azure, SQL Server and data modeling tool. Even they know like bit on Tableau also, right? So multi-skilled people are always, people will be, choosing them or picking them for their companies, right? So that it happens in always software industry. Okay. So something it will not be there always like in the same level, right? So so that is how the demand will be there. Like for example, if a new movie released, right? So in the starting days, the craze of the movie will be more like people will go and do it. Like later on, it will be reduced. Same thing, right? Like if Power BI also initially it's a new one and it is very good. All the companies are opting. So hiring will happen from all the companies. So much demand will be there. But one point of time, slowly it reduces, but it will not be reduced like, so Microsoft Power BI will not have anything, nothing like that. Okay. It will have openings forever, like minimum 20 years it will be there. Tool will not go away. Okay. It will be there and people will be there because some people, right, like if they retire or like some people, they move from one company to another company, right? So there will be openings will be there. If you have skill, then you can get that job. It is not like only Power BI, any skill, it is same in software, right? Some skill will have opening now and in few months it might be bit less also, right? So I would recommend like, Power BI is always, it will have it, but I will also suggest you, let's say lakhs of people will be there to apply the jobs in Power BI. Out of lakhs of people, how to get more calls also. All these things I'll guide you in my, training also. If you do that practice, right, you get, more calls on that. Okay. So that is also something I'll guide you out like to get the calls. Once you get a job, right, then obviously you can, until you get the next job, you will not lose the existing job, right? So that way, so it will be fine for you. Initially to get into the job, yeah, you might have to do some work to get more calls and get into the job. After that, it will be easy for you. Yeah, that is the thing. And yeah, so when it comes to actual tool, which we are going to learn with Power BI, right? Like Power BI is a BI tool. So basically I have already installed in my laptop Power BI tool. So I'm going to open that tool and I can explain you. So basically Power BI desktop is the developer tool, what we have it. Using this particular developer tool only, so we are going to create a reports on it. So basically, it's a developer tool to create dashboards and reports and stories. It comes with a standalone application. We can easily install in our laptops or machines. And we can also, yeah, so Power BI can be used free to download and you can use it. And we can also create a license version also free of cost for learning purpose and learn it. That can be done. So whatever we are working in office, right? Same kind of, environment will be having. We can practice it and work on it. That can be done also. OK, so after creating the reports, so in order to collaborate with people or like in order to share that particular work, we can publish them and provide the access to the users. That is nothing but Power BI service. We have it. So we can share the reports in Power BI service. In service also, we can create like a lot of projects. So on that particular projects, we can provide access to the people and they can do that. OK, so we have Power BI Premium also. So we have two licenses are there actually, like in Power BI side. So one is like Power BI Pro license and Premium license. Right. So basically Pro license, simply to tell about Pro is also we can use it and Premium also we can use it. There are like some of the more benefits we will have it like in Premium account. So Power BI can load with huge data and create a reports using Pro license. And some more benefits will be there, subscriptions and also, so we also have some paginated reports, a lot of things are there. So which we will discuss in upcoming Power BI lessons, where I'll walk you through, this, what is the difference between Pro license and Premium license in detail. So we'll discuss that. OK, so basically like I want to take you through Power BI tool, how simple this tool is all about. So I'll take you there. Can you go on mute somebody? Lot of noise is coming. Yeah. So if you look at like this is the Power BI tool, what we have it, right? So if you want to connect with the database, so first thing is this is a like let me just go through this particular tool. So if you look at right, so here is the place. You could see report is there. So here we can create a reports using the visualizations. So these are the visualizations we have it. If you need more visuals, we can get that more visuals also. But using these visualizations, we can create a report. And so this is a data window and this is a data modeling window. But let me just load the data and show you like how easy it becomes. OK, so it is a simple tool only. Power BI is a not difficult tool to learn with also. Yeah, so we can easily learn this simple tool and work on that easily. OK, so if you look at, I'm connecting with SQL Server as a database, right? So I just go ahead like click on that, give the server name and database name also, which we can give it, right? Or we can directly go without providing the database name also. Later we can choose list of databases will be there. On that we can choose the database also, right? So we can also see like advanced options. We can write a SQL query also and get the data also. And this one we will talk about all these things. I'll give 60 minutes, but not like now. We will discuss in Power BI when we go with Power BI lessons that I'll explain everything, each and every option in this tool I'll explain so that you will have complete knowledge and you can easily work on it. See, one thing I want to tell you guys here. Don't think like you are from BPO background or you are from a different skill background. How can you work on it? How can you say that? Because when you are applying for a job, you have to tell that like you are working already in Power BI. You are already working in Power BI, then only they will give you job. You cannot say that like, OK, I have done the training. OK, in Power BI, I have very much good knowledge and training and I can easily work on it. If you say they will not give. See, somebody who is already have experienced in this skill, they will give job for that only. That experience, you need to get it from this training. You need to learn the training properly, like all this, whatever I'm teaching, you need to learn it properly. Then you will be like an experienced person only, right? After getting the job, if you're working properly, that is what they wanted. Whether you are not worked previously in Power BI, it doesn't matter for them. OK, if you're working properly, then obviously you can easily continue with the job. For that, you need to learn the training properly. OK, so I will make sure that I'll cover end-to-end knowledge. I'll share it. Definitely, it is going to help you to work on it. End-to-end means like completely, where in this tool point of view and also tax functions, most of the outside places, right? They will not cover all the functions also. I'll go to that website and I'll cover each and every function with example so that you can easily, when it comes to that use case, you have to use that function and create that measures and create the reports. OK, yeah, let me just click on OK. I'm not taking any database because we can choose the databases list of databases available, right? I'll just load it, right? It will give that list of databases from the server. Let's say I will just go with any of the database. Let's say I will go with the data warehouse, data TW. In that I can choose some tables. Let's say I'll take like orders table, like um, returns table. I'm just taking some tables of users table. Likewise, see, I selected a few tables from the database, right? It doesn't matter, like you have to think like this one. OK, so if you go to this one, this slide, it doesn't matter. It could be any of the domain, right? End of the day, data will be stored in the form of tables only. And also it doesn't matter. It could be SQL Server or it could be any of the databases. The data will be there in the form of tables only, right? So I have selected a few tables here. You could say I have selected and click on load. So I'm not explaining very much each and every point here because in upcoming lessons, we are going to learn in these options only, right? So I'm loading the data into Power BI tool right now, right? So using SQL Server database, and you could see we got the tables loaded here. So we have the data also. If you want to see the data, we can see the data in the data window also. Okay, in the data window, we can see the data also. And in data modeling area, right? So let's say I have a requirement to create a report using multiple tables information, right? So that's where data modeling will come. So data modeling means will be creating the relationship between the tables. You could see there is a relationships are there here. So this I will cover in upcoming lessons in very detail about data modeling, how data modeling should be there. So what is the best practices in data modeling? Everything I'm going to cover in the data modeling part also. This is how we can create a relationships. And you could see this is the data window and this is the report tab where we can create the reports. OK, so we can easily do it like it is like see it is a I took a chart bar chart. I can drag and drop or I can select the fields like this. And if I select it automatically, that visualization will be developed, right? So, OK, so like if you look at this visual, OK, I'll take a different visual. OK, so global. OK, so now if you look at like by looking at this visual, I can easily do comparison. Central is having more sales than East, West and South. South is having very much less sales, right? So we're able to see this data will be there like some 10,000 or 20,000 records will be there. Out of that, if I want to get OK, which one is having more sales, I have to take calculator, paper and pen and calculate. It will be difficult for us, right? So that is the reason BI tools will help through graphical representation, right? Through graphical representation, so we can easily understand their data quickly. OK, so through this particular graphical representation, so we can easily understand the numbers very quickly. OK, so we have to do all these options, yeah, so that we can easily understand the data. So these things are only we're going to learn it in this training. How to use this tool. It is a very small tool. How to use this tool for creating the report, right? So this is what we're going to learn in this training, like, yeah. So how to connect with the data, how to create a report, how we get the requirement from the business. See, end of the day in project, right? How we get the requirement, I'll explain it. How we get the requirement, how we have to work on it, how to create a measures, right? It is not like I just dragged like region and sales and we got a bar chart, right? So all the time not like this. We have to create a measures as per the business requirement and create the report out of it. OK, this is something we have to do it like so. Then once we create a report, right, like I'll just save this report, like maybe in desktop I save it. So OK, we can save that report and we can publish it online, right? I can go to this particular one like projects, right? Like we can publish it into the project so that it will be like users will be accessing the reports online. OK, you could see it is published and users can see through web. Whatever we developed there, right? So we can see that here. Maybe let's say I will have to give a filter for users to filter the data and see that that is also can be done. Let's say I'll take like some filter quickly. I'll take a category filter, make a like drop down kind of thing. So users can easily, apply a filter and look at the numbers also. Let's say I can click on office supplies and the data will be shown for that office supplies only. It is like that much easy and it will be very quickly people can understand their data and analyze their business. I hope by this particular, simple report, you're getting it like how this particular BI tool is helping, right? For example, if I ask you how much is the yeast sales, giving this data to you, what will you do? You have to go each and every record, take a calculator and do the addition and tell me like that. But this BI tool, the data comes every day, daily basis. It automatically creates the reports like this, and automatically we can analyze the business, right? And we can also have options to apply the filters also. Like you could see, I can apply a filter of technology and I can see the numbers furniture. I can see I want to see all the data. I can see it, right? So Power BI, right? So if you look at, so these kind of visualizations is what we are going to develop it after getting the job, right? So we kind of create this kind of visualizations, reports we call it. These reports will help their business to understand their business. OK. So this is the kind of thing which we will be doing it, like as I said, right, in this training, right, we are going to look at like this Power BI desktop is the one we have to learn it properly, like end to end, then publishing them into service. In service also, how we have to create a workspace project, how to publish it in that, how to provide access, right? End to end, I will be covering it. So this is the interface of the tool which we already know, right? If you could say I can open direct tool itself. So this is the area, and also so I will go to the transform data. Each and every option I cover it so that you know about this tool. What is the purpose of this option? Why, what we can do it with this option? If you know that, that is what the experienced person also will do it. OK, let's say I have 10 years experience. If I have 10 years experience, I will be using bar chart only. This donut chart only for report development. I will not use anything else, right? It's all about knowledge and some, yeah, I understand some experiences makes you help easily to do that work actually. But yeah, the thing is you need to practice more. OK, I'll help you on all the ways, like on the training wise, like how to get on into those things. So this is the thing which is I'm going to cover, and this is I had to say about in this overview session. But now what is the plan of this training? Right? So if you look at, this is the plan of the training. This is how I'm going to cover the training and it will happen. OK, so one thing I just have to change this. So yeah, so if you look at from tomorrow, as I already told, right, I'm going to cover the data warehousing concepts, which is basics of this training. Anyone should have knowledge on that. OK, so data warehousing, few classes I'll cover it, maybe 4 or 5 classes I'll cover data warehousing concepts. Then I'll start with SQL Server. SQL Server database, because we should have knowledge on how to connect with the database, how to query the database. So we also these reports we develop it, right? So this report we develop it like here. We develop a report. This report numbers are correct or wrong. How can we decide it? Right. So the data validation part also we do it like writing SQL queries. So that I will SQL server is must and should for this training, because we have to do the unit testing, right? Writing SQL queries. So it is very simple. I'll take 6 days or 7 days classes in SQL, basic SQL to cover with. Also, I'll be covering with Azure also. I'll be adding in this particular training from this particular batch onwards. Some kind of Azure learning also we do it, right? And then we'll start with Power BI Desktop. This is the actual one, which is the main skill of this training, which we have seen it just now. So Power BI Desktop end to end I'll cover it, and also how to use the visuals like bar chart. on which scenario we can use bar chart, we should know. Like usage of the visuals also I'll be covering it. Then DAX functions I'll cover, like with examples I'll cover the DAX functions also end to end, and Power BI server. Okay, so Power BI server I'll be covering it. Then so data modeling tool. Then again I'll be covering with SQL Server advanced concepts. So as you're learning the basics, right? Like in here, you'll be learning the basics of SQL. So based on that knowledge, you'll be learning advanced concepts also, so that you'll be having some idea of about that particular one. Then I'll also take that project class, real-time project explanation class, and resume class also I'll provide it. How to prepare a resume, I'll provide that class also. Okay, so this is the overall roadmap of the training, which I'm going to take you through for 2 months, next 2 months. Okay, every day class will be there, like morning 7:30 to 9 only. There is only one timing will be there. Apart from that, I will be asking the questions after 1 or 2 days, right? So whatever I have taught, like I will be asking the questions, so that if you learn it on daily basis, you'll be like you will feel easy to attend the interviews also on your own, because same questions will be asked in interviews. Even I'll be taking interviews in my company also. So whatever like most asked interview questions I'll be asking, and whatever I teach in this training, that is what it is going to ask in the training in the interviews also. Okay, so no need to take placements also. If you learn properly this training, you feel like as an experienced person, you can easily attend and you can get the job on your own. Okay, I will also share reports for practice purpose, so that you can go through that reports. 40 reports I'll share it. So based on that reports, you can easily practice that. 40 reports means one project will have 40 reports or 50 reports. That's it, or 60 maximum. So those many reports I'm sharing with you. If you do hands-on practice, then it will be easy for you. Okay. And so I'll be giving recordings on the same day after the class is over. So within some time I'll share that recordings also, so that you can refer it again and again multiple times. You can go through recordings and understand it. I understand some people, right, who are like coming obviously very new to this technical terms, all these things you are not understanding, right? So some people will do that actually. Some people will feel it always. But yeah, if you go through these recordings multiple times and understand, obviously it is not a rocket science. You don't have to do coding and all here in this one, right? There is no coding, simple tool which we have to learn it. How we can use it, that tool we have to learn it. If you learn it properly, then obviously you can uh, get that understanding also. Some people, yeah, not like all the people completely they can understand it, but some technical terms, all these things, you can easily get it if you go through that, multiple times, right? So that's where I provide recordings also. So recordings would be there for, around 7 months. See, this small tool to learn, 2 months is enough. 7 months will be there. So it will be available like from the start date. So you can easily do it 7 to 7.5 months, because so that is the period. And I'll share end-to-end materials also. Whatever I'm teaching you in the class, right? That materials also I provided, so that you don't have to prepare extra notes. You have to, read my notes and prepare for the interviews. And also knowledge point of view also. You need to practice and get the knowledge also. Okay. And yeah, in case some of you feel difficult to get that job, I can support on placement assistance also 100%, which will be done. So for that extra efforts which I have to keep it, for that extra charges will be applied for. But this training, whatever I'm explained so far, that will be charging 10,000 only. 10,000 is the training fee which I'll be covering, but placement support and more guidance and to get the job, that is something extra things will apply. So if anyone has any queries on this, you can reach me out, personally. Okay, or I'll post it in the group also. Okay. So yeah, so I think yeah, so this is a self-explanatory. We have a YouTube channel there only, like all the some more skills are there. Previously, I was giving training on Tableau, Tableau Business Intelligence. I was giving training. As I said, like still Tableau has openings are there. If some of you have interest to learn Tableau also, you can follow my recordings and learn it. And also Microsoft ETL tool videos is also there, and Azure videos is also there in my channel. Okay, Azure Cloud also. So you can subscribe to this channel and you can get onto that videos and learn that also. That is also you can do it. Okay. So that is like mainly on the this one. You can subscribe to this channel. Maybe the icon is changed now. Yeah. Yeah, okay, we'll have a lot of tools will be there, but obviously I will also share that recordings also, daily class recordings, and provide access to you guys where you can follow from there. But some of the videos are like available freely. You can subscribe to this channel and go through that, like learn it on your own also. So I recommend, like some of you have more time. So while learning Power BI, you can also have get learn Tableau also, following my videos which are available freely in YouTube channel. If you learn that Tableau videos, right, you can keep in your resume Tableau and knowledge on Power BI experience with the knowledge on Tableau also, so that people will give more preference to your profile also, right? Yeah, so that you can obviously decide if you want to skip Tableau, that is fine, but you can concentrate on Azure also. Okay, so which I'm going to give the training on Azure, right? So that is also which can be done. Okay, so just to I'll go through the roadmap area. This is a roadmap which I'm going to cover the training for next 2 months. Any questions anyone has? Anybody has any questions?
No, 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 no.
No, no, sir.
No, no.
Okay. So I think if no questions, then we will close this session and we will continue for the regular sessions from tomorrow. It's already 9. Usually it will be same. Actually, by 9 we'll close the sessions every day. Okay, 7:30 to 9. Thank you everyone for attending the session. Yeah. So those who will register, like can ping me personally. Okay. Those who wanted to continue the training.